Forget what you have heard about ginger being some exotic tropical plant that only grows in faraway places. I'm going to be straight with you. People have been growing ginger right here in America for a long time, and the old-timers knew exactly how to do it without grow lights, heat mats, or fancy gadgets. I have been growing food my whole life, and when it comes to ginger, the methods my grandfather used still outperform anything modern. In this video, I'm going to share 5 old-timer ginger growing tips that still work better than anything new. And stick around for the bonus tip at the end, because it is an old harvest trick that gives you twice the ginger from the same plant. First up, and this is a big one, is starting with the grocery store ginger and an overnight soak. The old-timers did not order fancy seed ginger from catalogs. They walked into the store, picked out the freshest, firmest rhizomes they could find, with plenty of knobby growth buds, and brought them home. The trick they knew that most people skip is soaking those rhizomes in lukewarm water overnight before planting. That soak does 2 things. It wakes up the growth buds, and it helps wash off any growth inhibitor that grocery stores sometimes use to keep ginger from sprouting on the shelf. Ginger grows in USDA zones 8 through 12 outdoors year-round, but zones 4 through 7 can grow it in containers brought inside for winter. Look for rhizomes with visible eyes, those little bumps where new shoots emerge. Chinese ginger from the grocery store works, but if you can find Hawaiian yellow or Indian nadia at an Asian market, those varieties tend to be more vigorous growers. Cut your rhizome into pieces about 2 inches long with at least 2 growth buds each. Let the cut ends dry for a day, and you're ready to plant. The second thing you need to know about is the shallow planting method, and I cannot stress this enough. Modern guides will tell you to bury ginger 2 inches deep. The Sea of Ider old-timers barely buried it at all. They laid the rhizome pieces flat on top of rich, loose soil with the growth buds pointing up, and covered them with no more than half an inch of soil and then a thick layer of compost or aged leaf mulch on top. That shallow planting keeps the rhizome warm and lets the shoots break through fast without rotting in cold, wet soil. Ginger rhizomes are prone to rot if they sit too deep in heavy or damp ground, and the old-timers figured that out long before any university extension office wrote a pamphlet about it. Use a wide, shallow container at least 12 inches across and 8 inches deep, or plant in a raised bed with loose, well-drained soil. The rhizome grows horizontally, not down, so width matters more than depth. Next on the list is the warm feet, cool head rule, and this one is near and dear to my heart because it changed everything about how I grow ginger. The old-timers always said ginger wants warm feet and a cool head. What they meant is the roots and rhizome need warm soil above 70 degrees, but the leaves actually prefer filtered light and humidity rather than blazing direct sun. They would plant ginger on the east side of a building or under the dappled shade of a tall tree where it got morning light but was protected from the hot afternoon sun. That is the opposite of what most people do. They stick ginger in the sunniest spot they have and wonder why the leaves scorch and the plant looks miserable. 4 to 5 hours of gentle morning sun with afternoon shade is the sweet spot. My grandfather grew his ginger under a big pecan tree, and those plants were lush, green, and happy all summer long. If you're getting something out of this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week with honest, no-nonsense gardening advice. It is free, and it means you will not miss the next one. All right, let us get back to it. Coming in at number 4 is the feed it tea method. The old-timers did not buy bottled fertilizer for their ginger. They brewed compost tea. They would fill a burlap sack with aged compost or well-rotted manure, drop it in a bucket of water, let it steep for 2 or 3 days, and water their ginger with that rich brown liquid every couple of weeks. Ginger is a heavy feeder that loves organic nutrition, and compost tea delivers it gently without burning the roots. Modern synthetic fertilizers can push too much growth too fast and actually reduce the flavor of the rhizome. The old-timers did not know the science, but they knew their ginger tasted stronger when fed the old way. A 5-gallon bucket of compost tea costs nothing but patience and works better than anything in a bottle. Last on the list, number 5, is the mound and mulch method for overwintering. In zones 8 and 9, where ginger can survive outdoors, the old-timers piled 6 to 8 inches of straw or leaf mulch over the bed in late fall after the tops died back. That thick blanket insulated the rhizomes from freezing. In colder zones, they grew ginger in containers and dragged the pot into a cool, dark room for winter. They did not water it or fuss with it. They let it go dormant. Come spring, they pulled it back out, gave it a good soak, and the ginger woke right up. No heat mats, no grow lights, just a natural dormancy the way the plant wants to rest. I have overwintered ginger this way for years, and second-year plants always produce bigger, more flavorful rhizomes than first-year plants. Now, if you take nothing else from this video, remember this. My grandfather taught me to never harvest all the ginger at once. He called it banking. When harvest time came in late fall, he would dig up about 2/3 of each plant and leave the remaining third in the ground, or in the pot undisturbed. That leftover piece already had an established root system, so when spring came around, it took off growing faster and stronger than any fresh planted piece ever could. You'll be able to get an earlier start, a bigger plant, and a heavier harvest the following year. He did this year after year, and his ginger patches just kept getting more productive over time. It costs you nothing but a little restraint at harvest time, and it is the smartest thing you can do for long-term ginger production. Plain and simple, leave some in the ground and let it compound. And that is the honest truth about growing ginger the old-fashioned way. No fancy tricks, no expensive gadgets, just what actually works and has worked for generations. If this helped you out, go ahead and subscribe. I put out new videos every week to help you grow better food. Take care, and I will catch you in the next one.